Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CBC, and this is a first to 10 from an individual named GeneralRoxus. I hope I am saying that right. My mistake if I say it wrong, man. But he sent me a message asking to do a first to 10, and I was glad to do it. It's been a while since I've actually done something like this. This happened about a week and a half ago. So probably 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago is when I finally said to myself, okay, I have more free time on my hands, and I'm definitely going to be putting it into Marvel and Street Fighter, into a bunch of other games, and etc, etc. So a little bit of things on both our ends might look a little sloppy here and there, but like right over there, I tried to do a reset, but I jabbed an extra time, and that ruined my jump arc. Couldn't get it in time. Thank God that hidden missile hit. But this time, I have switched one of my assists. If you can notice, instead of using Plasma Beam, I'm now using hidden missiles. I feel that Deadpool gets that easy protection on his assists. If there's ever a grenade out, it makes it very easy. And Deadpool's bullets are easy to nullify a lot of assists in the game. One of the main things that I would say is that Sentinel becomes an irrelevant factor as an assist when I'm playing him, because once one bullet hits him, the drones disappear and my hidden missile will stay alive. Now there are teams like Wesker and Strider, you know, Trish and Hawkeye, when they have that ability to jump up in the air and shoot with a diagonal version down a projectile, and that is something I'm trying to work with. And as of now, those are the only two teams, kind of team synergies, that I've actually had problems with dealing with. I haven't had problems with Magnetos and Sentinels, Iron Man and Sentinels, Dantes and Sentinels. That's kind of disappeared because that jump arc that those teams love to stay at are nullified by Deadpool's bullets, and once the hidden missiles are gone, I could either teleport, I could spam my bullets 3 times. It kind of makes it easy, and I've become a little bit more of a turtle Deadpool until I realize they have 800 health left, and then it comes for an instant kill, because if at need be, I could do a double hyper, and if really needed to do something about it, you could always X Factor and switch it in later. That's something I've been trying to work with, and this was a mistake. Deadpool's air hyper is really not that good. It's only good for off the grounding. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm trying to find a lot new synergy with my team. Maybe trying to run Nova first, because there's unblockable setups. Well, it's not exactly completely unblockable, but it's right there. It kind of has a lot of room for mix-ups, especially with a low assist. I feel like those are not taken advantage of to its complete form, and I'm trying to find a lot of ways where I could use that, because I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Dr. Doom being level 3 on his own. As of right now, he is, but he's not exactly the best all-around character to be used. And there are many players who are really good players who know that as well. I mean, he's good, but he's got a lot of bad matchups, and it becomes rough. I've noticed that. And I've noticed that on my team, when my Deadpool dies, I feel like, you know, as a player, when you have your 3 characters, right? When one of your characters die, sometimes some teams just fall apart. This happens with a lot of Wolverine teams. Back in regular Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they had Wolverine, Wesker, and Akuma. Now, a lot of people would like to say that Akuma, he could do things on his own, but also he's a one-touch death character, so you can't exactly rest easy with just Akuma on your team, unless you've got multiple bars and you've got level 3 X Factor. But a lot of times before Wesker changed, people had, when Wolverine dies, it's hard to consider X Factoring a Wolverine, because, well, you're just going to end up dealing with Wesker anyways. So on my team, when Deadpool dies, I feel completely comfortable. He's dead, I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter, because I've got a lot of things that I like to do with Nova, and I like to be a lot more aggressive with him with my missiles. So but here's the thing: when Nova dies and when Deadpool dies, then I'm left with Dr. Doom, and I'm like, oh, okay, I better not have a really bad matchup, because even if I have level 3 X Factor, it's really easy to run away from Dr. Doom. So that's one of the last things I'm trying to work on. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be speaking over these matches that I have here. I'll probably go on maybe for the first 5 or 6 matches, and then I'll let the audio take over. But one of the things that I like to notice about this player is that the difference in team. I haven't exactly played a team of this kind of synergy, whether it was Nova, Hisenko, and Chun-Li. To be honest, this is the first time I've seen a Chun-Li that's playing a Chun-Li with a Hisenko at the same time. And I haven't exactly played many Hisenkos, so there were kind of a lot of mix-ups that I didn't understand, or some of the moves that I was trying to adapt to because I'm just not used to it. But one thing I'd like to say is though, after this match, I kind of realized what I could take advantage of. I was realizing a lot of dropped combos. I was seeing a lot of mix-ups that were becoming kind of obvious, and when certain combos were finished, they weren't the highest damaging ones. So we'd see like right over there. And one of the things with Deadpool is now when you give me distance, right? It's really you want to make sure you just kill him. You don't want to deal with any of the bullets. A lot of Deadpool stuff is underrated, and I guess maybe, you know what, let it be underrated. Let it seem that he's a little bit weaker than he really is, because in the end of it, he's actually a little bit more dangerous than a lot of people think. It's just the fact that not many people use him. Everybody's addicted to the air dashing characters, and the Virgil, Weskers, Dantes, Spencers, all the strong air mobility. But I know there's a lot of characters. Like, a lot of people would like to say that Ghost Rider has a lot of potential. I'm glad to be seeing that there's a lot of Felicias coming around now. You see me flying around here. I thought I could get around it fast enough before the balls came down, but clearly that wasn't right. And who else was I seeing more of? Whenever I remember, I'm gonna make sure I get back to that. But I do remember that I do know that I would like to see more Storms. I'd like to see more Chris Redfields. And Iron Man, of course, if anybody was paying attention. Oh, let's see what this is. Sorry about that. What was I saying about Iron Man? If a few individuals were keeping track of the whole Fnatic versus Joker battle out. I mean, a lot of people would like to say that Iron Man is trash, that he's got really little use, he's got high input, high execution in order to use him well. You can't even finish half the combos because his launcher sucks, etc., etc. But definitely he's one of those characters that has that air mobility that's liked, and who knows. One thing that I would like to say against this individual that I'm playing is that, or even if you're watching, man, you were letting me take advantage of the air a lot. It was really easy for me to spam. Like, I could keep going back and forth, and I wasn't exactly being punished. And the times that I was being punished, I wasn't exactly being hurt for it. It was kind of like a hit here, a hit there, a few hits there, but it wasn't anything that I'd say would tell me, okay, stop doing that, because you will lose a character, or you will lose 90% of your health if you decide to do something like that. And I wish her level 3 was a little bit more useful than that. I hate to see certain characters have the easiest comboing level 3s with amazing level 1s, and they give certain characters garbage level 3s, or ones that are very, very limited. Deadpool. But anyways, you never know. Who knows what will change in this game in the future, but it doesn't look like that's going to be anywhere in the near future regarding that. I like to say that I was seeing that there was on Event Hub they had a new tier list, and I could say that it's somewhat accurate. I was glad to see that those two nearby, Noel Brown and Filipino Champ, that they had a little bit of a difference. I might post a link to that video in the video description, so that maybe you guys can take a look at it. Maybe you agree with it, or maybe you don't agree with it. I'd say that 60 to 70% I do agree with Noel's tier list. At the same time, I feel that this game, you know, it's extremely difficult to. I feel like there needs to be 3 tier lists, and what I mean by 3 tier lists is how strong are characters when they have two teammates, with one teammate and when they're on their own. I feel that this game, there's so much going on in this game that you can't just have one tier list, because there's never only one situation in this game. Because Wolverine without assist is a garbage character. Plain and simple. Nothing he does is safe. And there are a lot of characters that on their own, can off the ground on their own, can do anything on their own, that are amazing. And I'll speak on behalf of Deadpool. Regardless of how many people are on his team, or the teammates, all the teammates do is just add damage for his assist, and regardless, because he could hold his own. When Deadpool is rated pretty low on the tier list, I know I'd like to see, well, I'm not really surprised because of the damage output, etc., etc. He doesn't have an air dash, but the less teammates on both people's teams, when it's 2-on-2, especially when it's 1-on-1, Deadpool becomes, he can pretty much deal with any character in the game, and he can deal with them quite easily. And there's another player that I played that I hope to be able to record the set with, because it demonstrates a lot of that, and it demonstrates a lot of matchups and a lot of things that aren't being used. And I hope to see how individuals are using Felicia more. I hope to see characters like X23, which one of my teammates uses, and myself, Deadpool, where we see it being explored more, because the maturity of the game, development of matchups, etc., etc., it makes it a little bit easier to do. Now, what I just saw there, now that wasn't an unblockable, but, well, then again, it is an unblockable, but it's extremely timed. Like, you have to do the overhead delayed, but there is a few frames where you could hyper out that's fast enough. Of course, it's a risk, but the point is that the pressure is being put on. What I'm realizing now is that you could just fly and then do the overhead, or you could just simply do the overhead and see if your opponent's willing to take that risk. One thing that I didn't get to show throughout these matches is team exchanging, or sorry, I guess I can call them a cross counter. And what I mean by that is when you're blocking and you call your teammate in. And in some characters in this game, a lot of people don't use them, but a lot of people don't know that when your character comes in with a cross counter, it's actually invincible sometimes, and invincible until hit. And that's important because what happens is if I'm blocking with Nova, or say I'm blocking with Deadpool, and say Akuma did his hyper from full screen, I'm just giving you an example, I could cross counter into Deadpool and he's invincible until contact. So until he hits Akuma, he will be invincible. If this was the last character, or if this was a character, it was a 2-on-1 or something, once Deadpool were to hit that character, the opponent, you immediately X Factor. If you don't have X Factor, well, you just cancel into a hyper. But the point is that if you have that option available, which is unused with a lot of characters in the game, I don't exactly know a lot of characters who are invincible, etc. I'm just talking on the behalf of my team, but I know that you could use that, and it's barely seen anywhere because not a lot of characters have that. So make sure, like, when you look at these tier lists, when I look at these tier lists specifically, I make sure I consider all factors, and a lot of factors that people put into the tier list, they're not even considered. So that's why when I were to find a tier list that I agree with, when I agree with it 60 to 70%, I'll just consider, you know what, it's accurate enough, and that's pretty much as close as you're ever going to get into a game like this, because there's so many unspoken voices and unseen individuals who play with characters that are extremely well with them that never get the shine of light. And I know there's tournaments and there's always the same teams, the same winners, like Virgils, Dantes, Wolverines, Sentinels, Magnetos, Storms, etc., etc. Well, not really Storm, but these matchups, and it's like, oh well, you know what? You might as well just be these characters because in the end, you know, they're the best. So I do hope to see a change in that, and I think for the rest of this video, I'm just gonna let the audio play through, and I'm gonna try and make sure, and I'm gonna hope the next matches are probably just going to be ranked matches, etc., etc., or some type of tutorial that I'll do. But I'm gonna try and get to certain individual to record with, because the matches go pretty intense, and the past week or so I've spent a lot of time playing, and it's gonna be interesting to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want to thanks to my man GeneralRoxus. I'm gonna send a link to his video. The guy, he posts a lot of videos on YouTube. One thing that I like is that he does a lot of different characters, a lot of different opinions. This is his own video logs. So I'm gonna post a link to that video and to his channel. So whenever you guys get a chance, check him out. He does a lot of Marvel stuff, so it'll be interesting for you guys to see as well. So I hope you guys enjoy, and leave a comment like usual. And thanks for watching.
Let's bring it! Fight! Attack! With the first attack! Hidden missiles! Drop you! Foot dive! Drop you! Drop crossover assist! Foot dive! Hard kick! Foot dive! Face speed! Great! Drop you! Crossover attack! Drop you! Drop you! Foot dive! You like that? Advancing guard! You injured! Cool! Level 1, air combo! Team aerial combo! Let's bring it! Power of the Nova Force! Uncanny! Revolumetric pulse! You like that? Crossover assist! Revolumetric pulse! You like that? Crossover assist! Revolumetric pulse! Energy down! Revolumetric pulse! I've got you, man! You like that? Air combo! Level 3! You like that? Let's bring it! Power of the Nova! You will burn! You will not escape! Advancing guard! Got you! Plasma down! Hidden missiles! Crossover assist! Out of here! Got you! Advancing guard! Advancing guard! Level 1! X Factor! Yes! Foot dive! Danger! Yes! Foot dive! Danger! You have no hope! Level Hyper Combo KO!